today on the Capital Show, Ken Abramowitz. He's a dedicated national security analyst and advocate. He founded SaveTheWest.com, a platform committed to preserving Western civilization, and chairs Citizens for National Security, a grassroots organization focused on national security issues. Mr. Abramowitz, you are most welcome. We can see the banner of your book, The Multi-Front War. We're going to focus in this interview on Donald Trump arriving to the White House a few days, and the president will be he was officially elected and approved by the Congress on January 6th. But tell us now, with his return to the presidency, how do you assess the global community's perception of U.S. leadership, and what impacts might this have on international relations?
Well, okay. Thank you for your question, and thanks for inviting me to be with you. President Trump's basically the best we can do in terms of having a leader for America and a leader for the free world. Mm-hmm. And so, and as I highlight, on November 5th, we the people took control of America away from they the elites. Mm-hmm. And our leader was President Trump. So we needed President Trump, and we needed we the people. So I look at it like a joint venture between President Trump and we the people, and we saved America in the bottom of the ninth inning. We saved America from the forces of evil, which were trying to take over the country through the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
And so President Trump is not perfect. 3% of the time he says something I don't like, but 97% of the time I like what he says.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna ask something concerning like current affairs. We saw Pam Bondi; she was appointed as the new Attorney General. How do you see her leadership shaping the administration approach to key legal challenges? And we saw her answering Adam Schiff's questions. So how do you see because you're specialized in national security and also in legislative issue? How do you see this election, the Trump team, and starting from Pam Bondi?
Well, the Trump administration announced that they've hired 1,000 people so far, and presidents in America have the right to hire about 5,000 people. But you also can select people for other jobs. I'm talking about direct hire. Pam Bondi's not a hire of the Trump administration. She was selected to complement the Trump administration, and she's wonderful. And so that's a good choice. I would say I obviously do not know all of the 1,000 people that have been hired or selected, but I like 90%. Whatever I hear in the newspaper or read in the newspaper or internet, I like 90% of them. 10% I worry about.
Great. What about Mike Waltz? He's like now the national security advisor. We look forward to end wars, and President Trump wants to end war in the Middle East, particularly. How do you see the Trump strategy for counterterrorism, his policies into dealing with Iran, for example?
Well, there's two ways to end wars. You can end a war by winning, and you can end a war by losing. It's not very complicated. So when President Trump says, I want to end wars, he should finish the sentence. He should say, I want to end wars by winning. And my feeling is that in my book, I identified that America's fighting 100 wars simultaneously. 100. And I want to win on all the 100 wars simultaneously. It's a huge, huge challenge. But you do not have to blow everybody up to win a war. Mm-hmm. You just have to destroy one or two of them and set an example for all the other bad guys. So President Trump Everything's wonderful, except for the 10% of the people that are not so good, and except for the 3% of the policies that are not so good. I mean, we're talking about someone who's an A plus, and the only question in my mind is, will he be an A plus plus or an A minus? But that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah. What about the recent ceasefire agreement in the Middle East? It has garnered global attention. Do you think President Trump played a significant role in this?
Well, now you're getting into one of the 3% disagreements that I have with him. So I'm not happy with the ceasefire agreement. I'm not happy. I mean, everyone wants the hostages back,
Yeah.
but I want Israel to win. I want America to win. I want Lebanon to win. I want Jews, Christians, and Hindus to win. And I even want Muslims to win if they dissociate themselves from the Muslim Brotherhood and from Iran, from the criminal organizations that have been hurting Muslims for 1,400 years. Yeah. I think there should have been a stronger response against Hamas than Iran.
But President Trump said his willingness to release hostages as part of his foreign policy approach. Do you think?
But he could have gotten more hostages out faster if he had been tougher. When he said, "I want the hostages out, or all hell will break loose," he should have said, "All hell will break loose for Iran and Hamas."
Yeah,
you can't just say all hell will break loose, because what happened is America twisted Israel's arm to accept this deal. The pressure should have been directed at Iran and Hamas, not Israel.
Yeah, this is a point of view. Let's talk about China. What do you think? How do you think President Trump will react with his relation with China? What do you expect?
Well, the problem we have with China is sort of the same problem we have with Iran. Both countries have promised to kill everyone in America. Now, when someone says, "I want to kill everyone in America," you have to behave differently than with a normal enemy. A normal enemy just says, "I hate you." Okay, but when an enemy says, "I hate you and I'm going to kill you," there's not a lot to negotiate with. You're going to kill half of the Americans? Are we going to negotiate the death of half of the Americans, or whoever? So President Trump's going to have to be very tough on China and very tough on Iran. Those are the two enemies that we have that you cannot negotiate with. They're they're 100% enemies.
Yeah, absolutely. With now Marco Rubio being a nominee for Secretary of State, do you think that there is more of Abraham Accords deals in the upcoming years? What do you expect from this foreign policies or this diplomacy toward Israel? Between which country? Where is the priority in these deals?
Well, the presidents act according to priorities. If I were the president, well, this was actually expressed in my book. When you have 100 challenges, I think presidents have to address all 100 challenges simultaneously. I don't look at it sequentially. In other words, I don't think if someone said to me, "I read your book, there's 100 challenges, I put them in order from 1 to 100, we should focus on number 1, 2, and 3. My response is all the challenges are interrelated with all the other challenges, and we have to have a policy to fix 100 problems simultaneously. So that's what I would say. President Trump would say, "I cannot do 100 things at the same time. Let's focus on 3.
What about the borders? Did you put it as a priority, as a big challenge?
Well, President Trump has said that borders are number 1. Number 1, we're going to fix the borders. So I can't dispute that. If I had a list from 1 to 100, that would be number 1 also. And just my point is, we need a strategy for the borders and for the other 99 problems that we have too.
Yeah, I have a question about the economy in the US. What do you think about like the currency, the inflation, the global financial uncertainty? What is going on? What is the strategy? What is Trump economic agenda could be?
Well, I'm very positive about the economy. The American economy grows around 3%, and hopefully we can grow 4%. Remember, America's a big country, so the difference between 3% and 4% is a big deal. I wish we could grow 5%.
Mhm.
But Trump has, there's a famous expression we use in America when we start the Indianapolis 500 race car. And the announcer says to everybody in their cars, ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Well, in effect, Trump is doing that for the country. He's not using those words. Those words are used at a racetrack. But in effect, he has said, start your engines, go invest, go make money, go innovate, do all the good things that Americans are good at. And that should lift growth rate from 3 to 4 to 5% just through those words of encouragement to all these smart entrepreneurs and technology people and that we have in America.
Yeah, and there is also an option of tax policy on trades, which is like can bring lots of money to the US. What about the technological innovation? Like we saw a $20 billion investments from a businessman from UAE, Sajwani, in AI. So how do you see the administration will leverage this partnership to boost innovation, maintain leadership in tech sector?
Well, he's doing everything right. The one issue that he hasn't mentioned that I would have mentioned, because I come from the venture capital community in the healthcare field, is we have a capital gains tax rate of about 20% in America. I would announce that I'm cutting the tax rate from 20% to 5% by everybody who invests in a venture capital fund. Because I think the people who invest in venture capital fund are taking so much risk that they should also get a lot of reward if the companies succeed. So that's something I would like to see him add to his agenda.
Yeah, and my final question, would you play a role in his administration as an advisor?
Well, I'm a patriotic American. If they called me, sure, I would play a role. But I'll tell you the number one job that I would like to play a role in doesn't exist. There's two people that traditionally don't exist in the American government. One of them was filled by Elon Musk, which is, I call him Mr. Tough Guy, someone to make sense out of the government. And it was in my book, I highlighted that President Trump needed two people, a number 2 and a number 3. Number 2 was Mr. Tough Guy, and he hired him. He didn't give me any credit, but that's fine. But I would be good as number 3. Number 3 is Mr. Nice Guy. Mr. Tough Guy bangs heads together and say, we have to cut this and do that. Number 3 is a coordinator. Mr. Nice Guy, like an orchestra leader. And President Trump could use a number 3 orchestra leader. If not me, there's Newt Gingrich would be an excellent orchestra leader. There's many other people who can do it. And so that's missing from the administration.
Yeah. I wish you all the luck, Mr. Ken Abramowitz. Thank you for your point of view, your approach, and your advice to face the challenges like are facing America in this upcoming years. Thank you so much, and nice talking to you.
Good. Pleasure to be with you today.